I was recently involved in a discussion about the use of e-collars when training dogs. I couldn't understand why people would want to use them because frankly I felt that they must surely hurt the dogs. But in the discussion on a dog training forum, quite a few e-collar trainers came in and said, no, they don't hurt dogs. I've tried them on myself and they feel little more than a TENS machine or shockwave therapy machine. At that point made me think I can't really continue with this conversation because actually I don't know what an e-collar feels like. So I went out and got myself one. Now this e-collar is aimed at first-time e-collar users. Simple instructions, levels are set from 1 to 9. So this is the one I decided I was going to experiment, as this is the kind of collar that most people who might consider going out to get one would get, and is a reasonable price of £134. So I read the user instructions for this product, and it says that before you use this on your dog, you should make sure your dog is vet checked to make sure that your dog doesn't suffer from any cardiac issues or epilepsy conditions. Otherwise this product could be quite dangerous to be used on your dog. It suggests also that the pins, these points here, need to be making contact with the skin at all times and need to be contacting fairly firmly, because if they're not firm, they'll slide around, causing friction sores on the dog's neck. So these points must be tightly done up on the collar so they don't move around on the dog's neck. But they also suggest that you need to move this around at least every 3 hours, because otherwise these pins themselves will lead to sores on the dog's neck even without activating. So the other thing that this product guide says is that the product itself won't interfere with any other electronic devices, but it says that other electronic devices might actually activate the collar when you don't want it to. So for that reason, when I actually do the test on this, I'm going to ask to make sure everyone got their mobile phone switched off. I'll be honest, I had planned to test this collar on my neck in the same way dogs have to wear them on their neck. But I decided to have a sneaky test to see what it felt like before I committed it to film, and we tested it on my arm at level 1 and didn't feel anything. And tested it on my arm at level 2 and got an almighty jolt. Now I didn't know when the stimulation was coming because my husband was in control of the remote, as he is whilst filming now. But I have to say that the jolt I received felt very much like the electric fence that my dad used to have to keep the cattle enclosed in our field. It was quite potent. Okay, now at this point I'm going to put the electrodes on my arm here, and I'll continue talking to you and explain that my husband will press this at any point. I have no idea when he's going to do it, and I'm now starting to feel quite worried about it. But I'm not going to go above a level 2 because it... Okay, now that we've composed ourselves, sorry about that, my husband had to put the camera down because he was quite worried, because it was quite a shock, and it really, I'm going to say it actually hurt. It does feel very much like when you've bashed your funny bone, but it's like 10 times stronger than that at a level 2 out of a possible 9 on this collar. So as you can see, I am not going to test it on my neck, and I'm not going to go above a level 2. I think that test has answered my question. Does the e-collar hurt? Yeah, it hurt me for sure. So why did the e-collar trainers on that dog training forum say that the e-collar doesn't hurt? Were they lying? I don't think it's as simple as that. I think we have to realise that different people have different pain perception. There are some people who have a high pain threshold, which means they can experience more damage before they actually feel the pain from it. There are people who have higher pain tolerance, which means they can feel the pain, but they can tolerate the pain better than other people. So I don't think that it's necessarily a lie to say that these people who've tested the collar on themselves before they test it on their dogs says it doesn't hurt. It could well be that they don't feel the e-collar in the same way as other people do, or even as their dogs do. So the takeaway message about using e-collars. The manufacturer suggested that before using an e-collar on your dog you should get them vet checked. I wonder how many people actually do that before using one. The other thing they suggest is that these pins should be pressed close and right into the skin on the dog, and it should be quite tight so that they don't give them friction sores. So therefore the pins need to be moved, the collar needs to be moved around regularly. I wonder how many people actually do that. E-collar trainers will say that the e-collar doesn't hurt, and we'll have seen through the previous slides that actually there are a number of studies which research why individuals may have different perception to pain. Now it might well be that the people who are happy to use these collars on their dog do so because they don't feel the pain themselves. Therefore they don't believe their dog feels pain. But I think it would be fair to say that in the same way as there are differences in pain tolerance and threshold in humans, the same would apply to dogs. Maybe they have the same gender differences, breed differences as opposed to ethnic differences. So the question is not whether or not the e-collar causes pain. The question is that the e-collar might cause pain for some individuals, and it may be more of a stimulation for other individuals. But the real question is, there are other methods that you can use to train your dogs that don't actually have a risk that they would cause your dog pain. So why would you not want to consider those options where you can have a perfectly well trained dog without the risk that you might actually cause them pain with any device that you're using to train them?